Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get it.
Unified Media Dropping Gems Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. Topic of conversation revolves around fear. Is fear real or is it not? And is there a long term effect on fear? So we'll be talking about that on our latest episode. Like and share this video to those who will find this information useful. Tune into the show once a week, every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, where we have raw, uncut, open discussions that can range within insightful and educational information across the board. Other episodes can include past and current events, trending topics, conspiracy, personal journey, and so much more. If you'd like to be a special guest to shed light on who you are and what professional industry you're in, send us an email, dropping gems podcasting at gmail.com with your name, business, industry, IG at, and brief bio. This is hosted by yours truly, JR The Truth and ONTO The One. Support the show by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell ASAP. I'm going to start off with this quick clip from Coach Carter. This is our deepest fear.
Sir, they can cut the chain off the door, but they can't make us play.
We've decided we're gonna finish what you started, sir.
Yeah, so leave us be, coach. We got shit to do, sir. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Thank you, sirs. All of you.
Welcome to the Advantage family. We're dead serious about pet parasites.
Our presence liberates others.
Powerful.
And our biggest fear is our power and what we're capable of doing with that power. Powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff. Thank you for that clip.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into it, how was your week so far? How's this Memorial Day weekend?
Uh Appreciate you for asking. It's been pretty solid. I've been resting this week. I got a new position with a new company, so new form of income coming in, and it's better for my family. So I've been able to take this break, and so far just been spending time with them, enjoying them. Getting me some rest,
Beautiful.
well needed rest, and just keeping my head steady and trying not to be in fear of not knowing what can happen in the next hour, day, minute, or in moment.
Right. I can contest to a situation that you had recently that happened similar to me. My SUV went out.
Oh wow.
The motor on the road went out. Shout out to Philippines. Shout out to Nurjana. Love to the Philippines for tapping
Nice.
in. Shout out so yeah. So my vehicle, my SUV kind of went kaput in the middle of the road. I got it towed to a nearby auto body shop. They took a look at it. Then I got it sent to the dealership. Luckily I had extended warranty on it. And I think there's some issues with the bearings. Because if it was anything major, they would have already probably called me at this point. So
Mm,
it's salvageable, but
mm.
after it gets fixed, which is going to take a couple weeks, after it gets fixed, I'm probably going to trade it in and get something else, probably a 2020 or something like that. But yeah, I've had that, I've had that that hit. Luckily, I got a backup vehicle um, that I could utilize. So
Man.
that was kind of how my week went. And then I outside of that, I've had the opportunity to work with Jessie Cortez. She flew in from New York City. She's the artist, the female artist that's
On
on
the
my
one.
on the one. She's working on her debut album. She's releasing a
Nice.
record called La Madrina that I had the opportunity and the blessing to fully write. She recorded that. That's being released on the 2nd of June, a couple days after the release of Dead Pharaohs, which is May 30th. May 30th, we will be doing the Dead Pharaohs official music video / short film premiere at in the afternoon. And then we'll be moving forward where we'll go live and do a reaction and review with the audience too. Then as well as a $500 giveaway merch and V-Bucks announcement. Outside of that, did we why did you choose the topic fear? Why did fear come about? What was it that how was that presented to you? Why did your spirit want to speak about fear?
Oh man, Doc, I'm glad you're first. I'm glad you're okay. Those situations are unpredictable.
For sure.
Yeah, you never know when those things happen, and due to that, some people sometimes live in fear of, I don't know when something's gonna happen to me, or I'm gonna need my vehicle, or my vehicle might go out, so they try not to travel, live life, or go short distance because they don't want to have that happen to them. But I chose fear because I asked myself this question, you know, because I understand the definitions of fear, because I have an understanding of my own, is there something that I fear, or can I use fear as a tool in life? And so I asked myself that question. And I looked at and I looked at it and it was just like, I understand fear means to, have to be unaware of something, or to be scared, frightened, to have some sense of scarcity because you have no understanding. You know, if I understand correctly, fear means also to have reverence to something. And to have reverence to something means just to honor and have respect. And to also have honor, respect, or revere someone is to also interview them. And to interview means to ask questions. And so, am I really afraid of something? Am I afraid to change from my old habit to a new habit? Am I scared to take on a challenge? You know what I'm saying? Am I scared? Or do I just sit and ask questions? All right, okay, so how do I do this? What can I do? Where can I improve in my life? And so that was pretty much my answer, because I asked myself that question. I came to a point in my life where I felt what me and my brother was just talking about, a place of content, being complacent. And so I asked myself, am I afraid of moving to the next level? Why am I afraid of moving to the next level? And it wasn't because, realistically, it wasn't because I don't know what's gonna happen. Is realistically is because I have to figure out what that next level look like, or what would that next level be. And so then I can ask questions and then start building it up to that next level. And so that was basically why I asked myself that. I mean, I asked myself that question and gave that answer. I was like, you know what, I want to talk about that because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here who are in fear of moving to the next, or in fear of change, and in fear. They're scared to you know, meet someone new, try this new restaurant, take a chance on meeting someone, dating someone. Living in a lot of fear. And with that term, life is only, you only get so much of life, or you only life is short. Live your life. That's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of true. Life is short based off of how you live in it. If you're not living a full life, then you're gonna live a short life. If you live a full life, then you will live a full life, no matter how old you are.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
I love it.
So that's kind of my question to to those out there. Is like, are you afraid, or is fear real or not? Because in a sense, fear isn't real to me, because I'm just unaware of something. And if I ask the questions and gain the understanding and knowledge I need, then there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to not know about. No reason for me to not be able to uh, proceed or move forward or progress or make the change. You know what I'm saying? Take that action.
Right, right, right. I mean,
That was my belief.
I mean, there's so many layers that
Mhm.
can be peeled from this conversation. And I think it's a mixture of a few different things. I think fear can come from trauma. Uh, seeing certain things that a childhood trauma. You may have witnessed something that
Mhm.
that kind of lurks in you and affects your day to day, your challenges, your decisions.
Decision making. Mhm.
I think I think fear comes from not knowing the unknown. You know what I mean? What it's a feeling. I think it's a
Mhm.
feeling. I think it resonates in people's minds way more than it has to. I
Mhm.
also think that there's also for a third take on it. I also think there's a level of connection in our DNA that's connected to our ancestors and the fear that they've probably faced and the challenges that that gets passed over into our existence and living, that we have to kind of break that curse, break that pattern. um for me, uh man, that's the way I could kind of break down fear for me is like I've never I've never been afraid to try something. I just think, like you said, it's a form of being complacent, being content for too long, and just kind of being stuck in the hamster wheel. And then when you try something new and you dive into it, let's just say, working out, for instance, consistently, there could be a certain level of like, oh, how do I break these bad habits? You know what I'm saying? Um, I think new challenges present themselves, and I think when it comes to fear, we adapt. Um, I think we're creatures that adapt when new things are presented to us, as we, new levels, new devils, so to speak. And I don't see fear as something that is real. Uh, I think it's a just like an I. It's just something that's just. It's almost like if it was spoon fed to us. You know what I mean? And because we're creatures that have defensive mechanisms, and we kind of put up a wall and we shy away from certain things that, again, that are unknown to us. The minute you tap into something um that you've never tried before, you realize, oh shit, it was all in my head in the first place. That's not. I mean,
Right.
that's real, but then again, it's not real. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. There was one thing I was afraid of. I remember I wanted to break into the television business, the acting business. I mean, I'm 37 now. I started at 33. I waited a long time. And one thing, there was a few things. There was my look, my image that I felt could have tightened up. So that's when I started, fixing my teeth, eating better, going working out, things like that, building my brand, from a musician transitioning into an actor. I was afraid that I didn't fit the look, that you had to be the flyest person on the planet to break through. Now, granted, obviously sex sells, sex is appeal. And if you look good, you can fit that quota
Mhm.
for certain
Mhm.
for certain ranks in the acting business. But I also know it's an ability, it's your acting ability. So I was afraid to just jump in. I didn't know where to start. That's the unknown. But the minute I started to learn the business. I started to understand what you had to do in order to maneuver. I understand that this journey in acting is who you know, what you know, your ability. Networking is huge, branding is huge, marketing is huge. And I've learned all those facets. It took me 7 years to learn them. I've been in the movie business for about 4 years now, going on 4 years. And but I've been in music for 12. And one thing I could say is you know, once you step in, you adapt. And it was all in my head. It wasn't real, but then again, it is real because when you want to create something from your mind into the physical, once you see it in the physical, it's real. What's not real is
Right.
that once you step into that space and you realize, oh shit, I could have done this 12 years ago. Excuse me, I could have done this 12 years ago. Um, it could have existed. But for me, I believe
Right.
that life has a unique way of presenting things to you that when it's your
Mhm.
time, it's your time. I had to
Mhm.
develop into the person that I am today, to have, present awareness, self awareness, spiritual awareness, to know that I have the capabilities to do whatever I want. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to uh, shoot somebody an email or a text when an opportunity presents itself. I'm not afraid to create opportunities. I had to develop that skill set. I had to develop not thinking about, the fear of the outcome and just work, put in the footwork. And if I could go back to what you were saying when you were like, where do I see myself? I want to see myself first in a certain tier and then ask questions on how to get there and then kind of work those obstacles.
Mhm.
One thing that I can say for myself outside looking in or just being a part of it is, this group and what we've created in almost the 2 years that we've been at this. It's been a year and a half already, almost two
Mhm.
years. Is that if we were afraid, we would have never created all of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? You would have never had those conversations with your brother behind the scenes and been like, yo, should we jump into this with JR and see what it presents itself? You asked the question, you had the discussion,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
foresaw where it can go, you saw the potential, and we still know where it can go. And
Mhm.
now we're living in that moment. We've seen the fruits of our labor open up,
Mhm.
we've manifested certain things, and we've looked past the feeling of fear or the failing
Yeah.
of fear. Fear is
Yeah.
failing, failing is fear. Um,
Yeah.
you need to fail. You need
Yeah.
to fail in order to succeed.
You have to. You have to. So it is the word self is fear to succeed. It's
Right,
backwards. Self is fear to succeed backwards.
right, right.
You know what I mean? So you it's one of those things, man. And I appreciate you saying that because I that we I learned what fear means from a spiritual standpoint, and that was the spiritual standpoint was it just means to ask questions. Because a lot of times people would always say, "Why would you question God?" And my response now would be, "Why wouldn't I?" You get what I mean?
Right.
Is because everything he does everything for a reason, so there is a reason. Now, me asking the question is okay to ask. Me getting the answer, that's up to him to give to me or not. You get what I mean? So from there, there is no disrespect from there. There is no sign of, any wrongness. But then, saying then you always got to look at it from a perspective. If if you can ask yourself questions and yourself is God, then you can ask God questions because He gonna give you the answer. You know what I'm saying? So whether you believe in the entity of God or not, the idea of it is ask yourself a question, ask yourself the question, so that therefore, once you seek, you shall find. You will find the answer to it. It may not be right within that second. It may be 10 years from now, or it may be 7 years from now, like you stated. You get what I mean? It took you 7 years to really see and know that, you know what, I could have did this a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I could have became an actor, started the acting business a long time ago. So that right there alone in itself is the reason why I don't believe in fear, believe fear is real too, from that perspective.
Right, right, right. Now you mentioned you wanted to bring up in conversation, um, if fear is real, can it be utilized as a tool? And what I said is that there's a chapter of fear in the art of war. There's a chapter of fear in the 50 laws of power. Um, I think fear can be utilized and manipulated many ways. Uh, I gave an example of if I worked with somebody like Diddy, if he presents himself as somebody in position of power who provides me a certain lifestyle because of the things I do for him, and I see him do something wrong that's against my morals and principles, and I don't speak about it, that's a level of fear that he's utilizing against me to have over my head, so I won't present him in a certain light. That's manipulation at its finest. I mean, look at what they did years ago, uh, to keep villagers at bay and to keep villagers calm. You give them bread and water. You give them just enough. You give them something to believe in, like the Bible, religion, Christianity, um, and you utilize the whole going to heaven or hell as a tool of fear. That if they don't follow these principles, they're banished to hell. You know what I'm saying? So it can be used against you and can be utilized as a tool, a form of manipulation to control masses, to control individuals. If I was a womanizer and I wanted to control a woman and, verbally abuse her, physically abuse her, and make her my slave worker, make her my slave, it's possible there's men like that do it, and there's women that fall victim to that. So I also think it could be utilized in a way, I'm trying to think of a way where it could be utilized in a positive light. I'll have to come back around to it when I think about it. Maybe that's something you could think about, Ak, if there's a way to utilize fear in a positive way. I mean, I'd mentioned how you could utilize it in a positive way. I mean, look at what we've done, what we've accomplished. Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast, Center Stage, the music review platform, utilizing fear for the unknown for building our relationship, building the Unified Media Group, not knowing where it can go, but not knowing when it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, will it really work? And I mean, I see it working. It's already powerful. I mean, we have, like it said in that video, your presence will create fascination and from others. Others would be fascinated. So utilize it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I stepped right into fear, the unknown, when I wanted to start acting. Now I'm officially in the database. You type in Jonathan Lee Rodriguez and IMDb, I'm the only Jonathan Lee Rodriguez that exists in the movie business. You know, there's plenty of Jonathan Rodriguez's, but there's only one Jonathan Lee Rodriguez. If you go into IMDb right now, I can type in Jonathan Lee Rodriguez. I'm the only one that pops up. You know, so
Really?
I'm the
You're
only one. The only
that
one.
middle name.
That Bruce Lee. You heard that Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I need that. Give me that spirit.
Yeah.
Give me that wisdom. Give me that wisdom, Bruce and Brandon. Give me that wisdom.
That is true though. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I like how you said that's how it can be used as a tool, because it can be stepping into fear, asking the questions, figuring it out, going along with the process. So therefore, you know, as you move along, you learn, you fail, you figure it out. You know, your trial and error.
For sure.
That's what gives you the ability to actually learn and not be afraid, to be more confident. So, you know, fear is like the opposite of confidence.
Right.
It's the negative version, in a sense, of confidence, but the positive version of it, like you were asking in a way, to fear is just to have questions. That's the most positive part about fear that people don't understand. What is harmful about asking questions?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you ask a question, all you're doing is seeking to gain knowledge and seeking to gain understanding. So you're asking a question, and that right there in itself is the positive form.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We didn't let nothing negate us. You're all the way in Los Angeles. You know, you're in LA. I'm in Oklahoma City. And we've utilized a platform to have these conversations, not knowing what was gonna come of it, but not knowing how. You know what I mean? So that's how you step into fear. You step into fear, asking the questions, asking the know-how, putting in the work, and diving right into it. You know what I mean? And breaking those letters, one letter at a time. I'm trying to think of a different acronym for fear. You know, F, fearless. E, excellence. A, achievement. R, I need one for
resilience.
R. Resilience. Look at that. Resilience. Love it. There goes a new acronym for fear. Fearless, excellence, achievement, resilience. There goes your new acronym for fear. Let me type it in the chat. Fearless, excellence, achievement, resilience, fear. Love it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's powerful. And for those that are tuned in, share this live. We are having season 2, episode 2, Dropping Gems podcast, Unified Media, every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are talking about the topic fear and what it means. Is it real or is it not? Is it a pigment of our imagination? You know, how do we utilize fear in a positive way? How do we utilize fear in a negative way? It's powerful stuff. Let me see if I can find another video on fear while Ak sets up. Motivation about fear. Overcoming fear. Look at this. 12 minutes of this. Here we go. Let's do this one, since this one looks interesting.
The ancient Egyptians understood that they could use sound to reduce their weight.
Bam. I'll pause it right here. And let's get into it. We'll be right back after this introduction. Ak is setting up. ONTL Dewan is setting up. This is Overcoming Fear.
We must begin to look at what are the things that we can do that would put us on some firm footing in life that will enable us to do some things and use some powers that we have that many of us go through life never ever discovering that we have those things going for us. And part of that, I believe, is knowing what it is your life worth. What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose? Because once you find that, it puts you in your power place. See, if you know what your life work is, I encourage you to start working on it. If you can't do it all at one time, do just a little bit of it. And if you don't know what it is that you showed up to do, if you don't know why you're here, I encourage you to find out what your purpose is here. What is the meaning of your life? And I say to you that if you begin to take a conscious effort to find out what it is that you're supposed to do, I say that it can literally save your life. I said that it can literally save your life. See, when you're going someplace and you already know how much you're going to make, you already know how far you can go, you're in a dead-end position. It erodes your self-esteem. It lowers your sense of yourself. It creates an inner turmoil. It creates an emptiness in you. So I say that your life is worth finding what it is that you're supposed to do. Do find out what your work is and hold on to it, and don't let your dream go. Don't let it go. See, and here's something else I want you to begin to look at. Why is it that most people don't pursue their dreams or don't do better than what they're doing if they're capable of doing it? I think that many of us don't go the next step because we don't know what to do yet. And I say that the reason that we don't even explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe that it can happen for us, and we don't believe that we deserve it. So here's what I'm suggesting. How much time do you spend working on you? How much time do you spend every day working on your dream? In the last 90 days, how many books have you read? In the last year, what new skill or knowledge have you acquired? What kind of investment have you made in you? So I'm saying that as you begin to look at where you want to go, if you want to make it today, and things are changing so fast, you have to literally run to stand still. I'm saying that you've got to make some conscious effort to begin to work to develop you. Here's something else. Most people are not living their dreams because of fear, ladies and gentlemen. Fear, limited vision, and lack of self-esteem is what keep most people doing things they don't want to do. The same reason that people stay in relationships where they're abused or they're unhappy or it's unfulfilling. They can't see themselves beyond that relationship. They can't see themselves enjoying life without that person. They think that this is all that they can do. The same reason that people get stuck at a certain level in life. They can't see things being better for them. And they think that this is it and this is all they deserve. This is all they've ever seen. It's been passed on to them. And they think that this is it for them. Fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear puts people in the hospital. Fear can age you. Fear, ladies and gentlemen, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. And it seemed like you're in a hypnotic spell. And I ask you a question, what is the benefit? What's the benefit of allowing fear to hold you back? What's the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that? It's one of the things I had to ask myself. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to be perfect the first time I did something. It's not going to happen. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to hurt some folks' feelings. You're going to create some enemies whenever you decide that you want to begin to take life on. You've got to ask yourself, how long am I going to allow this to hold me back? Said fear is false evidence appearing real.
That's another acronym.
That is an illusion that we create in our mind. It is a state of mind that can be changed. So let's look at how we can begin to take some steps to restructure that fear, to begin to expand our visions of ourselves, to begin to increase our self-esteem. Webster said that self-esteem means confidence and satisfaction in oneself. Look at your life right now. Whatever you've done up to this point in time, your life is working. Whatever you have produced, it came out of you as a result of the kind of person that you have become.
Powerful.
So yeah, is there anything from that clip that you can take from it that you can kind of break down that resonated with you?
It was his acronym. I forgot exactly because it moved kind of fast, but his acronym of fear, I think it was something resilient. Excuse me, it was achievement and excellence or something like that. I heard up in there that his acronym was pretty much around that what we're talking about, because it is make believe. You know, I don't really have fear. I do see though how fear can negatively or be used as a tool negative from yourself with yourself. Like you can be cause yourself to fear something by, you know, even understanding it, but seeing the negative of what can happen when it comes down to making a decision or choice. Right. For example, you know that, hey, if I don't pay this bill on this day and I take this money and go party on this day, you know what I'm saying, the consequence of it is I'll be late on rent, or they take my car, or whatever the case may be. You understand that consequence, but then you still take on that action and understanding and know, hey, you know, I'm not gonna pay that this time. I'm gonna go ahead and go, you know, so I'm gonna turn up real quick. Let me go get this drink. Let me go, you know, and spend the money over there. You can now you're using that as a form of a negative way. It's like I was in fear of what can happen, but I'm gonna try to, you know, replace it with being confident. You know what? I can do this right now. I'll be able to make it up. And then you try to make it up, or you try to, you know what I'm saying, fix that situation. And now it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The situation gets worse. So, you know, it could be used in that negative aspect as well. If you put fear within yourself or give yourself an excuse without fully thinking about the action that can cause the negative and the positive of it.
Right. Is there a situation that you can look in the past where fear affected a decision, and how would you have done it differently today, knowing what you know?
Yeah, man, it's honestly, when it comes down to my music career, I didn't have a lot of support from the one person who I'm influenced by, my father. And at that time, back then, you know, I guess he couldn't see my what I seen in myself. And so he wasn't really in a supportive manner towards it. It didn't necessarily mean I couldn't do it, but me seeing that he wasn't supporting, and that put a little fear of like, oh, well, maybe he don't think I'm good enough. And then to later on find out, you know, as I'm still on my path, you know, I get told that, you know, are you as good as so-and-so, you know? And it was just like, well, damn, you don't believe me. So now I have to try even harder. But then it also made me like, well, am I good enough? It gave me doubt. You know what I'm saying? That it put the fear in me when it came down to what I'm able to create and what I like, what I enjoyed. There was also a moment where I was of an outcome because I didn't want to speak up
Therefore, to say how I felt in regards to a situation where my life decision, it was another life decision with architecture. I needed some assistance. I didn't speak up. That time passed, and now I don't know what could have came about if I would have spoke up to take on that challenge or ask the questions. Hey, how can I get some help for this, or can I get some help for this, so I can pursue architecture and what it had to offer on a whole trip to Europe, a whole new experience. You know what I mean? Having a whole new experience, and that's what kind of halted me in pursuing a lot of stuff, or prolonged my process of where I seen myself at when it came down to my music. Now, knowing what I know now, it's like, okay, maybe I can't get that back of what I had, what I was looking for then, but now my vision has changed, or my goal has changed. And so now I'm not as afraid. I don't care who has something, or I don't really care about anybody I'm influenced by, whether they like what I'm doing or not, or how they feel about what I'm doing or not. I'm just going to do what is best for me. And those who resonate with it will, you know what I'm saying, it's for them. Obviously, it's not for him. It's not for, whoever. If what you see me doing is not good enough, it's not for you. And that was what I had to deal with and had to overcome and learn through my process. And,
how has that relationship changed now with your father?
Oh man, it's different. Like he respects me. He has a little bit more trust in the process of like, look, I understand what you were in fear of because of what this industry, so the negative things that this industry has, and you don't want me nowhere near that or that being brought over here. But it's like, I don't think you understood what I'm here to do. I do. And now that you've heard the records and the music and see what I'm talking about, he has a little bit more respect for that. Effort is one of his favorite records, and that he uses to play in the gym.
Yeah, because I've never seen your father. I've never spoken to him yet. I've had brushings with your sister on social media. I've seen she supported. Even your mom has commented on a YouTube post of Dropping Gems, and I see your support from them. Does that support system from them, in terms of fear growing up and the decision-making process for music, was that support from them? Did that make up for the lack of support from your father? Did that help?
At that time, yeah. It was a push, because my mom's idea was always to never let anybody, no matter what, if it's your parents or not, stop you from being you, or stop you from, pursuing something that you like. And my mom would always say that everybody else, would be encouraging, support. And it's like my dad, he supported me doing it. It's just he didn't agree to and didn't really like that going in that direction, because of the negativity that it has attached to it, without understanding my position and like, hey, no, I understand that. I won't get myself involved into that negativity. Like, I have to learn who to deal with, who not to deal with in this industry.
Right.
In order for, for you not to be scared, because sometimes certain things, and as a parent, I understand now as a parent why he felt that way. And it was like, it's like, I'm not here not trying to support you and say that you're not this or you can't be this. It's just that I don't know, or you haven't shown me that you were sure about something. So I had to basically show him like, look, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the respect came back, and he's seen that, we're not even dealing with a lot of the negativity or the people. We only had one encounter, and that was an encounter, and that encounter had to happen in order for him to see, look, we're not trying to be over there, but this is what can happen, because we wanted your support, but so what wasn't really trying to like look at it like that. And so we didn't come to you to ask questions, because our fear was you didn't support. What was the point of asking you for some help or understanding, or asking the questions to see, is this a good move, if we already know you're not rocking with that industry. And then that situation occurred. We all talked about it, got over it. We learned from losing out on $21,000 we learned from that situation, and my dad learned to trust us and move in a direction. Like, look, we moving in a direction, but just give us the opportunity to, figure this out. And then if we ask a question, give us what your perception or what you think should happen, and then we'll give you what is going on. So therefore you have understanding too, just like we have the understanding. And so, now that's the level that we're at. That's where we at. He check in on and say, what's going on? Y'all got y'all checking in with each other. Y'all doing what y'all plans is. What's the moves? You know what I'm saying? Like, where the music at? Where the videos? He's on it like that now.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's great to have. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I know that there's a weakness in others that they try to apply to you, and it can come from friends, it can come from family, where people will try to attach themselves and try to in a sense, almost downplay what you're trying to pursue. And what I've realized when people try to be like, oh, you should be doing this in the meantime, or you should be doing that, I look at where that opinion or where that advice is coming from. And if the opinion and advice is coming from someone who doesn't have their shit together, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. And I have a lot of that. They'd be like, JR, what are you doing right now for, to cover the foundation, to handle the expenses?
Right.
And or they just don't, or they don't ask. They'll ask in person, but they don't reach out and be like, oh,
or they'll play telephone and call everybody else except the person, and
like right now I'm going through a little thing right now where I haven't hit a wall, but I've hit an obstacle, right? So the car situation, possibly some work situations that I'm going through, but I'm leaning on my strengths, which is, my entrepreneurship. I have other business endeavors that I can focus on. You know what I mean? Like, I still have opportunities that I'm creating and being presented to me. So, for instance, I have a meeting Tuesday or Wednesday with a guy that's selling, plots of land. He's selling lots, spaces, whether for lease or for sale. And I'm interested in purchasing a lot myself to put a duplex on top of.
Right.
So my thing is getting in to simply learn the game, which I've already brushed conversation with him and taken some notes and things like that. Because I soak up game on, visual and on hands and conversating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid. That's one thing I could tell you. I'm not afraid to step into the unknown. You got to step into fear for things to be achievable, for you to be able to
use it as a tool.
Yeah, use it as a tool. So with that being said, I'm stepping into the unknown. This is something that I'm interested, but I'm unknown to it. I don't have the expertise just yet. So I'm learning from somebody who already has been in the game for 20 years.
Right.
Now, when I have those conversations with those people that try to give you advice, and this is why I'm having this conversation now, because it's happening in real time. When you get advice and opinions from others who don't have their shit together, you have to look at it for what that is. It's like, what is your opinion and your advice going to do for me? Why aren't you calling me with a solution? And that's the thing about people, is like they'll call you to give you advice and opinion and offer no solution.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to hear, oh, I'm sorry for what you're going through. That's not going to help my situation. I don't want to hear it. And it's coming from people that it shouldn't be coming from. It should be like, yo, you have a problem with your vehicle? Oh, I actually can lend you my vehicle. I'm not driving right now. I'm in physical therapy or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, they can create solution. Oh, let me find out, what's going on with X, Y, and Z. These people are in that business. Let me make a phone call. Nobody is there to bail you out. Not your parents, not your siblings, not your best friend. No, you have to figure it out yourself. Now, the problem I have with that is that when I do figure it out and I'm up here, and then they hit a certain situation in their life And it could be very minor to very major. Guess what they're doing? They're calling me to bail them out. I'm not here to bail you out, bro. I'm not a bail's bondsman. I don't have bonds to bail you out.
Right.
When I was in my situation, you wasn't offering no solutions. And not this ain't a tick for tack thing.
No.
This is simply for what it is. This is what if I'm here and you're calling me and you're offering no solution whatsoever, and all you're saying is I'm sorry, and then I get up here and I figure that shit out, and you're down here and you call me to try to bail you out, there's discrepancy in that. And I don't rock with that, you know, especially if you have the means and the resources to kind of nudge me in the right direction or help lift me up, you know. And that's the thing with people. It's just like they only call you when they need something. Oh, I need a favor. Well, guess what? I can't do nothing for you. I can't help you.
See, and my thing is people look at that concept and that idea in a because of those actions in a negative manner. When you think about it like this, people say, are you supposed to do stuff for people just out of the kindness of your heart, right? And because you want to do it, right? True. However, though we're not initially looking for that to be returned, the principle of it is if I'm doing something out of the kindness of my heart, you should have the kindness in your heart to want to help out or do something for me as well. I'm not expecting it, but also too, I should never have to look at that and ever question it. If I have to question it, then that means I need to make sure I'm not overextending myself and giving too much, because then I'm not giving it back. So, you know, it's like nobody goes around and wants you to do things for them. However, if you do something for them, the most proper and respectful thing to do is to help them back in whatever manner that you can. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of them asking or not, you know? And so, yeah, if someone's calling and if you're calling to vent, I'll put it to you like this. If you're going to call me to vent, tell me that, hey man, I just want to vent. And you're not looking for me to help you with a solution to your issue. Yeah, just say that. So therefore I'm not looking to solutions, because I'm that friend or I'm that person when you call and telling me about a problem that you're having or what you're going through. I'm trying to help you with some solutions. I'm trying to figure out how you can get better. What can be done from this situation so you can get out of it. You know, then if there's any way I can help you.
For sure.
My help may only be, well, if that's going on, maybe try looking at it like this and moving like this, and you know, that may change your life and help. I may not be able to give you, to compensate you via cash, money, or anything like that. I may be able to compensate you with just giving you the one thing you needed was the direction or the focus or the focal point of where you needed to go to fix your problem, or for you to see, oh, here's the solution right in my face.
For sure. Absolutely. I'll give you a quick example. So recently my son, the small one, he graduated with honors.
Congratulations.
Graduated honors, fourth grade honors, and he's going on to the fifth grade. So it was one or two things that I could do for him. I could either get him the PC that he wanted, which I wasn't able to get, unfortunately, right at this moment. Or everybody just give them cash, whatever they want to give them, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever it is. So I reach out to a certain individual and said, hey, he graduated with honors. Oh, I can't do nothing. I don't got it. And in my head, I'm like, but you just bought it. You just spent money on something in the household that was quite costly, but you don't have money for someone who, you know, we say that if you work hard through school, you know, this is how you get rewarded, you know. But then they claim that, you know, we don't call them to update them when something is, you know, not dire, but call them when, you know, with news like that. You know what I mean? We don't call them, we don't update. Okay, well, if I do and you ain't got it, why am I going to continue to reach out if that's what you claim? But then next week they're blowing up your phone. Hey, I need a favor. I can't do it for you. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not, you know what I mean? Like
and they feel salty. They feel salty about it too. It'd be the funniest thing but it'd be like, you got to look at it from this situation, man. If you were being honest and saying that you didn't have it and can't do it, when I call, you can't be mad, upset, disappointed at me or whoever, at the person who you're asking the favor from.
For sure.
Because they're not available or can't do it. And you caught them at that time. Like the principle is there. The principle is there. It's a staple. It can't be removed. It is what it is. So, understand that. Damn, you ain't got it. Oh, okay, no problem. Man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got it this time. I ain't got it this time. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to say that. But then at the same time, like I have a situation I'm talking with my brothers where there's a certain family member where, they invited us to a wedding, and invitations got sent out, forgot to RSVP. And when it was time, I reached out like, hey, my bad. I'm a little late. I got the dates mixed up. Can I still come? Is it still room? Oh, no, that's pretty much it. We don't want to break any rules or codes for the building or anything like that. And I'm just like, all right, no problem. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That next time, then it was one of those things. But the same individual has never pretty much kept in contact, reached out, or anything like that. Has a new family member, we have a new addition to the family, and this person doesn't even know this person. Like my son doesn't know this person, and this person is somebody I grew up, knew, loved, you know what I'm saying, and have respect for. And so now, another event, this person throws another event, and the event is, what it is, and we not able to do it still. And now that right there turned into something else as well. So it was just like, okay, it happened. It's like you can't get mad, be upset or anything like that when just things aren't aligning. You know what I'm saying? It just isn't aligning. And you also can't expect somebody to be there for you when you're not there for them. Excuse me. Bless. You know what I mean? Because it's at the end of the day is, if I'm gonna be the person to come help lift you up because you're about to fall off of a cliff, you can trust that my life. I mean, that you can trust your life in my hands. But if I can't trust your life, I can't trust my life in your hands, then I feel some type of way about that, because now it's just like, well, damn, between your life and mine, you'll let me go. Wouldn't even try, but here it is. I'll risk losing mine to help save yours. That's the type of thing that it bothers people, and that you should definitely that right there shouldn't be something that we that shouldn't be how we live. We shouldn't live in that type of fearness, or be afraid to help somebody or help reach out or be in that nature like that, because that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel comfortable like that. I don't like that feeling at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm afraid, or I'm not messing with you because you don't want to mess with me, or because you got a misunderstanding or anything like that. It's like, nah, we gotta change that. Let's be able to, ask these questions and gain understanding, so therefore we have a common understanding.
For sure. Absolutely. I agree with everything you said. You know what I mean? Is there anything you want to touch base on before I pop up another video for a few minutes so we could take a quick intermission? Is there anything you want to touch base on when it comes in terms of fear?
Man, you got to fight fear with fear. You got to be so afraid of being afraid that you take on that challenge. Like you said, you know what I mean? You're afraid of not knowing the possible that can happen, not knowing the power that you can possess. Be afraid of that. If you really truly want to know, have a power over fear, power over being afraid. Be scared and afraid of not getting what you want, versus you trying, I mean, versus you know what I'm saying, like not even trying to get it, like try to get it. Be afraid of not trying to get something that you want because you didn't try. You know what I'm saying? Because you were scared.
Now there's a few statistics right now. They're saying that 80% of people in the world, there's 8 billion people. 80% of 8 billion people are lazy. Right?
Yep.
80% of people are lazy.
That's a high ass.
Four in every 10 Americans don't have an emergency fund. Now, when you put those statistics together and you break down lazy, you break down not having an emergency fund, you break down statistics of fear, you incorporate distraction, you incorporate pressure, peer pressure, you incorporate environment, accessibility to certain things you shouldn't have access to on a negative connotation. When you put all those things together, are you more than likely to fail? It's almost like if the system is ruled against you. It's set up in a way where it's like, it feeds you all this negative stuff and you have access to all this shit. I'm lazy because I have all of this entertainment around me. I don't have an emergency fund because I don't know financial literacy. My environment is shit, and all I have access to is fast food and drugs and women and etc. Whatever your vice is, choose and have fun with it. Flip a coin. You're more than likely to fail, which adds more trauma and levels of desperation that occur. You know what I mean?
Right there, that word desperation.
Right, you get that. There's desperation, and
because that's a form of fear.
Right, and now you're activating something that you're now maneuvering in a space of fear and doing things that you normally wouldn't do. Break into a home, rape a woman or a child, steal to feed yourself or to get the next fix or whatever the case may be. Murder somebody
by any means. By any means.
Right. All those things. How does somebody like yourself know all that? Is in the middle of all that? How do you maneuver? How do you tell the audience that's tuned in right now, this is what you have to do in order to maneuver in that space? Hold that thought. I'm gonna put the halftime show, and when we come back, break that down for us, brother. Because I know you wanted to think about it. I know you.
I thought about it. There's more to think about as well. But yeah, let's give it a half, and
we'll give it a half. We'll come back, and Ak is gonna break down maneuvering in that space.
How to maneuver with knowing all
of that is literally happening.
Yes.
Because right now, as we're conversating, there's somebody that's going with the heroin and the dope. There's somebody that right now is raping a child or womanizing. There's somebody right now that's breaking into a household to get their next fix. There's somebody right now that's lying to somebody, like, you know what I mean? I mean, even social media. I almost lost out on $250 because somebody was scamming on TikTok.
Yeah.
The levels.
Hey, maneuver. I'm gonna tell you.
The levels.
There's levels to this. I'm gonna tell you how to maneuver through. I'm gonna give you a few perspectives on how to maneuver through all of these obstacles.
For sure. For sure. We're going to get into that right now after this halftime. Share this live with those who will find this information useful. If you like to donate, if you enjoy the conversation, donate. Cash App, Jay on the Truth, $1, $5, whatever it is you can afford. It'll go back. It'll go back.
Appreciate it. Goes towards the show.
Program. Goes towards the show. Thank you. We'll be right back.
May have a cash prize for somebody one day.
Shit, yeah. You never know. We already have one May 30th.
Producers, if you struggle finding sounds and samples that work for you, then you have to check out this plugin. It's called Arcade, and it's my #1 go-to for building tracks. What I love.
A lot of people are saying, E, I'm scared. What if I do it and I fail? E, I'm scared, E. E, I want to do it. I'm gifted. I'm gifted. I'm talented. I know I can write that song. I know I can produce that album. I know I can do that CD. I know I can write a book. I know I can get that degree, but I'm scared. So I'm telling you, in life, you start running from a class, you start running from a subject that you don't like, it will haunt you for the rest of your natural life. It ain't going nowhere. But if you go after the fight, if you approach the challenge, you have a much better chance of winning. This the fight of your life, baby. Are you hearing me? This the fight of your life. This the fight of your life. And listen to me. If you're going to win the fight of your life, you can't be afraid to fight. All right? Some things don't come. They just not going to come to you because you want it as bad as you want to breathe. After you want it as bad as you got to put up the dukes, baby. And you got to be willing to fight that thing out. Are you hearing me? Fear, you are not going to stop me. I'm not listening to that voice. I'm not listening to fear. I'm going to move by faith. I've come too far to give up now. You got greatness all inside of you. You got greatness all inside of you. But your problem is you a scaredy cat. You soft. And every time it get hard, you quit and you give up. And I'm telling you, if you would be willing to fight your way through it, if you would be willing to fight your way through this battle, fight your way through cancer, fight your way through that academic struggle, fight your way through divorce, fight your way through it. If you are willing to fight your way through that singing career, fight your way through boxing, fight your way through football. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Fight your way through it. You got to fight the fear, because guess what? Fear ain't bigger than you. There's greatness in you. Are you hearing me? There's greatness in you. And you mean to tell me you're never going to reach your full potential? You mean to tell me you're never going to be what you've been called to be? That you're not going to do what you've been called to do because you are afraid? Listen to me. The boogeyman ain't real. And so I need you to understand that you can have it. For real, you can have it. But it's going to be a fight. And if you're willing to put up the fight, I'm telling you, at the end of the fight, it's going to come victory. You've gotten this far. If you was going to quit, you should have quit a long time ago. You've come too far to quit now. You need to get a reward for it. That's why I'm trying to tell you, never stop, never give up, never give in. Your boy was a high school dropout. Your boy was homeless. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I slept in abandoned buildings, baby. You say, how did you get here, E? Because one day I got up and stopped being a victim, and I was a victor. Are you hearing me? And I took that one class, and that one class turned into 2 classes, and I got my GED. And then I went to college, and yep, I told you it took 12 years, but what did I do? I never stopped fighting. It got harder, and it got harder, and it seemed the further I climbed, the harder it got. But I didn't stop. I didn't quit. I just kept fighting and fighting. And then I got to the master's, and it was harder than the 4-year, and it was harder than the GED. But what did I do? I got here not because I'm the strongest, not because I'm the fastest, not because I'm the best, but I kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Your boy got through the master's. Now we at the end of the PhD, baby. Oh, you not hearing what I'm saying? Now we got the dissertation, and I ain't no writer, and I ain't no intelligent dude, and I ain't no scholar. Then you say, how you gonna get the PhD? Because I keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And what I will not do is I will not quit. And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me. You will not destroy me. Lay hold of it. Some of you are so ignorant. You've been through so much hell. You gonna quit now? You should have quit 10 years ago when you got raped. You should have quit 10 years ago when he walked out on you. You should have been quit. You don't quit now. It's the 10th round. You got 2 more to go. And when you get to success, it's not about skill. When you get to a certain level of success, it's about stamina. It's about stamina. It's about you won't break me. You can't take me. I fought too long. I fought too hard. If I was going to quit things, you should have got me at 17 home. You should have fought me when I was eating out of trash can. It's too late now. I'm in the Ritz Carlton. It's too late now. Because I keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. It's too late. I got people's lives I changed. It's too late. You should have broke me a long time ago. I'm unbreakable now. If you could take this one principle that HW gave me, it revolutionized my life. It's about to revolutionize your life if you would just embrace it. Michael Jordan his career started by somebody telling him no. That there's no way you're not good enough to play basketball. You hear me? In high school, he was told, you can't play on this team. You're not good enough. Guess what he did? He kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And even when he wasn't on the team, he was still fighting and fighting. And when he got cut, he never stopped fighting and fighting. And he came back the next year, made it on varsity, went to North Carolina. Can't listen to me. Wasn't even the first round draft. Sam Bowie. I don't even know who that is. Right? Sam Bowie. So he went from all of that adversity. He kept fighting and fighting. He didn't win first year. He didn't win second year. He didn't win third year. He didn't win fourth year. He didn't win a championship fifth year. He didn't win one sixth year. It wasn't after 7 years that he won his first title. Guess what he did? He kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And when I told my man HW, listen to me, these brothers have shown me that nothing is impossible. He said, E.T., you got it twisted. It's past possible. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Revolutionize my life. He said it's past possible. See, this is the thing you got to understand. When somebody say impossible is nothing, you still talking about 2 double negatives. You talk about a negative here, nothing. Negative here, impossible. He said you got it twisted, Eric. It's not impossible. It's not that nothing is impossible. It's past possible, meaning that there's no way you can't do it. Oh, you're not hearing me. And when he said that, it changed my thought process because I'm going to keep it real with you. It's past possible. Oh, you're not hearing me. It's past possible. Meaning that not only can you do it, you're going to go way beyond that. It means that the probability of you doing it is greater than you not doing it. You're not hearing what I'm saying? When you say it's past possible, that here, not only will you do it, but the odds are in your favor. That's a whole nother level. It's past possible, meaning that there's nothing you can't do. That the odds are for you and not against you. So you go get that PhD. So you go get that master's. So you go back to school. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm telling you? It's past possible, meaning that all you got to do is start. Because if it's past possible, as soon as you start, you know you're going to set records. You know you're going to take it to the next level. You know what's going to be that you're going to do what's never been done before. So I challenge you, it's past possible.
And there was still about 1 minute left for that. It's past possible. There was so many gems in that, and I love him as a motivational speaker.
E.T. is definitely extraterrestrial, bro.
He's an animal.
Hey, so back to your question and me giving my answer. With knowing all of what I know and have an understanding of fear, the obstacles and things that I go through and face, how do I maneuver through it? Well, E.T. said it the best. Fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, bro. You gotta keep fighting. There's days I wake up where it's damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I have to, yeah. I don't have to, but I have to. Why? Because the reward of me not doing it is far more scarce and far more scarier and worse than
doing it.
And
setting records.
Yeah, and setting the record. Yeah. And so he said it the best, bro. It's just fighting through it. That's what I do every day. I wake up, man. I try to fight through it. Try to figure out how to. What is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? What am I to gain from this? What is this preparing me for? Can I get this? Yes, I can get this done. I know I don't feel like doing this, but this needs to be done. I continue to talk about it. I talk to my wife about it all the time, back and forth. The things that we're facing and going through. We talk about it all the time. Like, damn, we're going through this and this and that. Yeah, but whatever the reason this is happening, there's something greater to come from. So we just got to keep going.
It's a learning process.
Right. And I'm saying like I said, knowing all of that information, it is the key is to just keep going and fighting, asking the questions, and just having what I was going to say too is just being aware, having full or at least some form of awareness of self, what you're doing at this moment. Like right now, we are having a conversation in regards to fear and the different facets of it. Is it a tool? Can you use it as a tool? Is it real or not? And things like that. Right now in this current moment, right? We are having this. I understand that. I know that. And I'm participating in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Being fully aware. So me participating in this moment, whatever technical difficulties that may transpire, like JR's system jumping off a screen a few times, or me having to mute in and out because I wasn't set at home. I'm out in the field still having to do the podcast, me putting on mute, doing these things. Those are challenges. However, in this process, I'm fighting through those things because, as you can hear between me and JR, we both have nasally voices. We're fighting through this nasal voice to give you these gems. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how I maneuver.
Trust me, I wanted to. I was gonna cancel today's episode.
I had a feeling. I was waiting for the text. I ain't even gonna lie. I was waiting for it.
I was gonna cancel the episode. I wasn't gonna do it. I was asleep. I woke up at 5, and I was like, I got to do this episode. It's important. He already sent me a concept. I got to be fearless. I gotta fight, and I have to fight. I have to fight whatever that feeling is, and know that it's not real.
Whew.
So I got up, brushed my teeth, took a shower, freshened up, came over here, got food, set up, and fought through the process. And here we are. You know what I mean? Had the pleasure of Stefan tapping in. I'm sure some other people I sent the link to tapped in. Some people will get it later. They'll play it back. Yeah. People look forward to these conversations.
Of course.
If there was one factor in fear that was concerning when I first presented to you this opportunity with joining Unified Media, what would that be? What would that look like?
When you presented the opportunity, the only thing I kind of had an unaware feeling. I ain't even gonna use the word that term fear. An unaware feeling of was the personalities to you know what I'm saying, be up with, right? Like I'm not a person. I'm not a confrontational person, but I don't mind confrontation, right? And so I'm like, okay, joining this group, I see the benefits. Yes, this is what can transpire, learning and helping, being a group of support and things like that. But me dealing and managing a team of 100 different personalities and knowing that everybody responds different, thinks different, sees different, hears different, and speaks different, I have to learn how to maneuver through that. And that was what my only factor of fear I had with joining was how to deal with those new, and these are people I don't even know personally. And you know what I'm saying, we're not even face to face in the real life. So how would I react to situations if someone in the group, or if there was a situation to transpire where I had to defend myself and things like that? How would how would I do that? So that was my only factor. That I would say that would be the only factor of the concept of fear that I have about joining the group.
What would be a situation in the group that you think a user or a member in the group was facing fear? What situation transpired because they may have been facing fear, and what was the outcome of that that transpired?
Like first I'm gonna say this.
The fact that you smiled and laughed.
because you know I know how to pick up
What topic are you gonna what are you gonna make?
The topic that you pretty much gave the explanation. I mean, there's many topics you could be speaking upon, but there's the topic is, I'm gonna just say this and then I'm gonna get into it.
Okay.
Let me get into the topic. You are a cold ass marketing genius, bro. Keep that confidence, bro. I love it.
I appreciate it. So yeah, what was it in the group that you can say a member may have faced fear? What was that situation, and what transpired within that situation? Why did that occur?
I'll say this. So there's many situations, but there's this one specific situation that goes back to me stating what I said. It's about being aware of what you're doing, what you got going on, what you're involved in at that moment, right? There was a member in the group where that person had a fear of not being seen, right? Not being seen. And so every time that person had the opportunity to be seen, they took that opportunity and made a fool of themselves, right? Mouth spoke and tongue spoke one way in of its nature, but body language and action showed a difference, right? And from that fear, or that notion of fear, not being able to be seen, or feel like you're being overshined and shadowed, not scared because someone else can't shine just as bright as you. You're scared that their light is brighter than yours. This person had the opportunity to shine with another great person, and due to them having that fear, messed up their relationship and messed up that opportunity, and then therefore from that opportunity caused a big massive commotion and an embarrassment towards someone because they had a fear of not wanting to be seen, to the point where now they've become seen everywhere, to the point where they're on billboards, music videos, they're in plays, movies, and all these type of things, being seen. And all eyes is on them, like Tupac said. You get what I mean?
That publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. And I seen that happen in the group, which again, that was something that I had kind of was the only factor that I foreseen in the group that could happen, was to have a beef situation based off of fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Might drop a record called Fear.
Hey man, Fear. Kendrick.
Matter of fact, Pressure has an album called Fear.
Ooh, shout out to Pressure Online.
Might have to play a record. Might have to play a record off of that. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Let me look for a record real quick. Let's do that real quick. Where's let me go to Spotify. Let me see. Is it on his YouTube? It'll probably be easier if I go. Let me see. Pressure Online Fear album. Pressure Online Fear album. See if he has the album up here.
Man, fear is what you believe, man. You know what I'm saying? Have some respect though. If you really fear something, like I don't fear man. I have respect for them. I don't fear what you can. I don't fear what you can do to me. I fear what I may do to you for you trying to do something to me. And what those consequences is. You know, and that's what true fear is being able to know, like you said, I believe that's in the book, The Art of War, right? And I've never read the book, but I've heard many excerpts from people who what's the word? Who take from, quote from that book.
Yeah, The Art of War. The Art of War. It pretty much breaks down the principles of how to maneuver in a room full of snakes and sharks.
Right.
And what they say is like, you have, in order for you to maneuver in a room full of snakes and sharks, you have to become a snake and a shark yourself.
Right.
To a degree, to have the
right.
Have the understanding.
You have to be able to blend in.
You have to
me and my brother call people, and most people know themselves, and some may start now. They may, once I say this, then they're gonna look and call themselves this now. But me and my brother, we call us chameleons. You know what I'm saying? Like, wherever we can blend into the environment once and adapt to the environment based off of understanding the environment, what is going on. You know what I'm saying? So in order to become this, in order to maneuver in here and to get out safe, you have to become what's in here. So you have to be able to adapt to what's going on. And you know what I'm saying? If I'm moving in, if I'm in a place where I know if I say the wrong thing or make the wrong move or anything like that, everything can go, wild and crazy. So I gotta be able to maneuver right. I gotta say the right words. I gotta, be able to see who's in here and who going. If I say this, who gonna react to that? You get what I mean? So it's that maneuvering through those things or becoming a chameleon there is definitely a key life hack.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because here Antonio Burke says he will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. In the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. Sun Tzu. And now this gentleman, I want to highlight Antonio Burke.
Thank you, Antonio Burke. Appreciate you, sir.
Antonio is to me the way, let's say, how can I put it? Remember, remember guys like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates?
Yep.
Now you have visionaries, and then you have people that are technical, on hands, very technical.
Yep.
So I see myself as a pioneer in a certain space. I don't know quite where my level of expertise is going to blossom within this space, but eventually I'll find it out, right?
Right.
Because we're Renaissance men at the end of the day. Individuals like ourselves, we're Renaissance men, we're visionaries, we're pioneers. Now, what Antonio does well is that he takes that vision with his two hands and he's able to put it and condense it into like a writing format. He reads heavily, books. That's his thing. He doesn't need to go out to the club. He likes to open up a book and like get lost in the book. And then, yes, and he's highly educated, very, very artistic. And I gave, which I got to go through my email, Antonio. Thank you for reminding me. But right now he's writing a fabricated book about my life and the 12 concepts of the hero's journey.
Oh, that's dope.
And if you know anything about hero's journey, you know that there's levels of fear within that circle in the hero's journey. And so he's taking the hero's journey, he's taking the facets of fear, he's taking my strengths and my weaknesses, and with his intelligence and his artistic views, he's able to take different pieces of my life and put it into a book. Now I literally become my
He's-
own Marvel, my own
he's
DC character.
He's forming he's forming the universe, your universe.
Yeah, my universe in a real way, but also in fabricated, because we want to utilize the book. Right, we want to utilize the book as a pitch for a movie.
Right, and I see why. See, a person like Antonio, who reads a lot of books, who can get lost in a lot of books, their mind is very creative because of the many adventures their mind has had, and how connected he has been to reading. That's the, you know what I'm saying, one of the good things about reading, and the thing that it is, we should all be reading every day. You should read every day. You have to, because if he can take. I'll put it to you like, for example, like that real estate investor, the pocket calculator. That's dope. What Antonio is able to do with his ability to be able to read all of the stories that he has read, he's able to take a lot of information and condense and concise it down specifically, so therefore you gain not only the sense of it too, the feel, you gain the feeling, because he can use the words that give you feeling. Like, see, that's what you don't understand. When people talk, there's certain words that trigger feelings and emotions in you when spoken, when uttered, right? Absolutely. And so he's able to do that. That's why he's going to be able to pinpoint all of those different things in your hero story. So, and we'll be able to emotionally attach ourselves to that story based off of placing ourselves as the the hero as well. Like, we're all our own hero in our own story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's dope. Appreciate you again, Antonio, man. You just sparked another reason for me to continue to stay reading, brother.
Oh, listen, Ak was the first one. You were the first one that said you want to buy the book.
Yeah.
So in the hero's journey, you have the above line being known and the underline being unknown. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first chapter is Call to Adventure. And through Call to Adventure, there's supernatural aid that occurs. Then the next chapter is called The Threshold of Guardians, the beginning of transformation. You get a helper, you get a mentor, and then there's challenges and temptations within that beginning of transformation. Then you have the next chapter where it's the death and rebirth of who you are. You resurface as anew, the abyss, the revelation. And through that abyss, through death and rebirth, there's a transformation of atonement. Then in atonement, you get the gift of being a god, the return. You come back to your center. That is the hero's journey. Those are the 12 principles. Those are the 12 chapters.
Bro,
you know,
and if you actually pay attention to a lot of it, for those who tune in and watch, if you pay attention to your favorite heroes, your favorite cartoons, your favorite movies and things like that, everything he just stated, you will see every storyline have one of those pinpoints. You see in many stuff where the person is going through adversity. They don't know how to fight this adversity. They're looking for help. They get a helper, somebody to help them. Now they're trying to figure it out. They're asking questions. They're, you know what I'm saying, they're going along this journey. Then they figure it out, what power they do actually possess and hold. Then they become the new person. How do I use this power? They start using this power, and then they become known for this power. And now they understand how to save, because they learned how to save themselves, and now they can save everybody else. So that's the hero. That's the true hero's journey, is learning how to save yourself to save everyone else.
And you can utilize those same principles in real life. In real life, you can utilize those same principles. I'll give you an example. In a record like The One, or in a record like Effort, that is the death and rebirth of who we will become moving forward. That's our introduction to the world. Oh,
right.
My camera's going out. Hold on.
Oh, we lost that. Oh. No, but that is true. You are reborn. You have to be reborn in something. You have to be reborn. You have to go through something and lose something, die, kill off something that is stopping you, and to be born again. You have to kill off that is old, that is not serving you, and take on and make live and let live that what is serving you. That's what you have to be reborn again with what is serving you. So it's imperative to understand the concept of being born and reborn,
right?
What rebirth is truly is, and what death inevitably is.
Yeah, and that's what occurred in real time, in real life. After the one video, which became my death and rebirth, my rebrand. It was my rebrand. It was to showcase my side of me, not only musically, but also as an actor. Through that video, through me making that sacrifice, flying to New York, going to Jersey, shooting the video, releasing it, what my biggest record to date, it opened up opportunities for other people to come in and help on my process. There goes the helper. I haven't quite met the mentor yet, but eventually I'm sure those doors will be presented to me where somebody will get involved as a mentor when they see my ability and they see my potential. But through the rebranding, the death of who I was to the rebirth of who I am today as the one, other opportunities open up. I got presented my first acting debut on a feature film. The IMDb credit, being in the movie database. Now my song, I have 2 records now being placed in 2 movies, not through a sync placement opportunity. I haven't met a sync. What's going on? Hold on.
All right. Maybe the camera tripping, or is it just the Wi-Fi? It might be the Wi-Fi. I appreciate y'all patience, but this is real life. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the show. This is exactly what I was talking about. The struggles, the adversity, the trial, the technical difficulties we go through in the show, but to fight through it, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna get out what we're trying to get out and say. We need to. Why? Because people need to hear it. We need this information. So appreciate y'all that are tuned in and live watching as we get through this episode on fear.
But am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back out. Yeah, yep, we can be heard.
Okay. Forgive me for the hiccups. But where I was at. So more opportunities were being presented to me, more doors were opening up. And then that situation transpired in the group. Dead Pharaohs was a result of that. And then I met some incredible people during the production of Dead Pharaohs, which now leads to the one possibly being a television series. My first book with Antonio Burks. And then, me getting the film studio up and running this summer, so that way I can try to green light a show for the industry story, the indie story, and what it takes to be an independent artist, actor, musician, model, dancer, whatever across that facet, and then utilize that. Maybe a streaming platform will pick up that series, and then we'll utilize that buzz to have the independent tour. All in all, is to say this: it takes the death and the rebirth, and for you to resurface rebranded in order for those things to occur. I had to go through a level of success, pivot down like a roller coaster, hit the bottom again to come back up, and now it's like this. You know what I mean?
Steady on the rise.
Steady on the rise. Steady on the rise.
Peaks and valleys, but it's steady on the rise.
I don't look at monetary success as the main focus of success.
Right.
I believe that success is perspective.
Mm-hmm. Subjective.
It's subjective. I think there's different levels of success. I don't think that you should compare what you're going through in life and what you've created and compare to others who are in the eyes of people like celebrities and, think of the biggest athletes across the world. They're human just like you. They had to sacrifice not having a childhood or
Right.
a teenage life.
What we would consider a normal teenage,
a normal teenage life. They
life.
had to sacrifice and go through certain obstacles and facets in order to be the household names that they are in whatever industry presents to them.
Right.
Another thing I would take note on and want to give to people that tune in now or later is that fear is also subjective, and that if you step into fear and you step into your light, there's more to gain from that than not stepping into it at all, like you mentioned. There's more to gain from failing and falling on your ass X amount of times and getting the scrapes and the bruises from climbing that mountain. There's more risk involved, but there's more reward at the end as well.
Right.
Life itself is subjective. So don't look at your life as though you're smaller because you're not in the forefront.
Right.
I wake up every day knowing that there's people right now looking forward to these podcasts, the music review platforms, seeing me on live, seeing us on live, that unified media phone call, that conversation of me just called the well-being check on my brothers and sisters, our relationships that are brewing and that are occurring. I have just as much power as the person that's in the forefront that's known to billions of people.
Right.
Because I also have people looking up to me and looking forward to these kind of conversations that get them through their life. You don't get to talk to Dwayne Johnson, but you get to talk to JR the Truth.
Yep.
I don't get to talk to Dave Johnson, but I get to talk to ONT Abdul One.
Right.
It's subjective that if I appreciate your value, I know I'm going to gain more out of life having conversations with you than just seeing Dwayne Johnson on passing, pounding him and getting that high of I met the idol. I met my idol.
Perfect example. Perfect example. That was a perfect example.
I'm gonna get more value from you.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And this is why you shouldn't idolize.
I don't.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No, I get what you're saying, but it was just that was my ad lib. Like the ad lib, you be doing the ad lib.
Right.
For the ad lib, that was my ad lib. But no, I wanted to say to that, yeah, I having the understanding and concept of not being afraid or just being confident in taking on those opportunities, taking on the challenge, and having faith within yourself to know you can get through it. If you, I'll put it to you like this: most people who don't have confidence in something don't know how to fight. They're scared. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying they don't know how to throw a punch. They don't know how to, do that or defend themselves. What I'm saying is they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to square themselves up, gather themselves together and wait for the opportunity to strike when it's available. That's what they're scared of, because they don't know how to stand on a square and be able to take on the opportunity when it presents himself. And they are more scared of getting hit and knocked down than being able to stand there, see the hit coming, dodge it, and hit back. That's what I mean by fighting, the push and pull effect. If you are able to stand on your square and be solid in your foundation, you're going to be able to stand there rather than back up, rather than move your feet. You have to stand square on this, or you have to stand still on this square. You have to move your body to dodge all of these hits. that's when you have enough confidence, because you can move every which body part you need, or which in any direction, like Floyd Mayweather, and not get hit by standing in one space. Because, you know what I'm saying, you with still having the fear of, I don't want to get hit, I'm not trying to get hit, but if I get hit, I'm not scared to get hit.
Right.
You get what I mean? But it's like, I'm not trying to get hit, so I'm gonna do my dodging and moving, you know, bobbing and weaving. But if I get hit in the midst of me bobbing and weaving, then hey, I have to take that one. Let me keep going. Let me bobbing. I got to do better. I bobbed and weaved the wrong way, or you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things you have to look at. It is very subjective and it's perspective based. And I feel like, you know, if you once you hear this information, if you didn't understand this, if you've never heard this information before, if you don't truly understand what the word fear means, I suggest you go do some studying with yourself, because you should be afraid of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? And in order to be afraid of not knowing, you must go find out. You know what I'm saying? So be afraid of being that person that finds out last minute. Be afraid of being the last person to cross the finish line. Be afraid, you know what I'm saying? Use that as fuel, as a tool to help you get past the finish line. Be afraid of not finding out the result you was actually looking for. Be afraid of not winning because you didn't try.
Right. That's deep. Another thing I want to mention also, while we have a few minutes left, is don't be afraid. Don't have fear in cutting people off.
Woo!
I can contest that I've held on to certain relationships and friendships and business relationships and across all facets. Don't be afraid to cut people off, man.
I mean, hey,
they will waste your time and drain your energy.
I put it to you like this: you don't waste no time or hold on to a hangnail that's trying to hold on. You get rid of that mug right away, because why? It hurt. Don't hold on to something that's hurting you, because it's gonna keep hurting you. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of it. And what I mean by hurt, I mean your feelings, physically, mentally, you know, emotionally. Like get rid of that. Whatever that relationship is, whether it's a person, your significant or supposed significant other, a teacher, a auntie, a friend, coworker, a fucking advice. If you know what I'm saying, if you addicted to something and it's hurting you to move to the next level, get rid of it. It's not helping you get to the next level, so then it's hurting you. So you know what I'm saying, learn how to get rid of that.
Love it. Is there anything else you want to touch base on before I play this last video about going into it, stepping into your fear in order for you to succeed? It'll be our last video. I'll play it through, and then the podcast with some final words. But is there anything you want to touch base on that you feel we haven't touched base, or to summarize what we've spoken about today in its entirety? And once you mention that for me, is there anything moving forward? Is there anything moving forward in the unknown that you think about? And like, how do you plan on reaching that specific vision? Is there something that you're thinking about, like, hey, I want to reach this specific goal? You know it. You know what you want to reach, but it's still unknown on how you're going to get there. What are some of the things that you're planning to do in order to get there?
What was your first question again?
My first question is, how do you summarize today's conversation? And then after you summarize it,
moving forward,
how do you plan on reaching this specific goal? How do you plan on reaching this specific goal that you know you want to reach, but it's still fairly unknown?
That's a good question. My summary on today would be, the clip that we started with. You know what I'm saying? We fear it's not that we're scared of the unknown. It's just we're scared of what power that we're able to actually possess, that we have. And in summary, don't be scared of power. Power is the most beautiful thing that you can ever have. Me being a student in electricity, I took a class on the electrical craft helper. In that class, one of the things we learned about dealing with electricity was to respect electricity, right? And again, as we've been talking about in the show, a form of fear is respect. So to respect electricity is to understand how dangerous it can be, how powerful it is, but also how powerful you are with it. You know what I mean? And because of that, don't be afraid of it. Have respect for it. Don't misuse it. Don't abuse your power. Don't be scared to take that power and use it for what it's for. Don't be scared to take on that challenge and learn what you need to learn. Don't be scared to take on or face something you need to face to move on to the next level. Don't be scared to get rid of something that is no longer serving you. And don't be scared of yourself. Don't be scared of what you can do. Be scared of what you didn't give yourself the opportunity to do.
Love it. Powerful.
And moving forward, what I would do, that was the answer to the first one. Moving forward, where I see myself is, or necessarily what I'm, my steps and what I'm doing is, is continuously fighting past the distractions, fighting past those things that are here to keep me off of focus, you know, learning to stay focused. What I do is have these conversations with myself. One, I speak to myself a lot of times now. And that was something I never really did, but I have conversation with myself. I ask questions to myself and try to be as honest as possible with myself and use that as a guiding tool. Of course, Yahweh is my guide, but you know, the Yahweh in me, I ask that questions and learn and try to, you know, respond to those and gain those answers and move in that direction to, you know, towards that, because my ultimate goal pretty much in life is just to be the best version of myself, which is to be the higher version of myself, which is Asael, as a builder, a person who knows how to build from ground up in whatever it is I put my hands on. How to become a true producer, a producer of works, of products, of things, whether that's thoughts that transition into physical, manifest into physical, you know, things. But that's truly where I see myself, and what I'm working towards is always just continuously trying to, the fear of not being able to know what it would feel like being my higher self.
Love it. Appreciate that. Powerful episode today. If you didn't get a chance to tune in, play this podcast back, share it with somebody you feel that would resonate with this conversation today. Hit the like button to help it get discovered. Comment in the YouTube comments for us when it's uploaded. And we'll see you at the same time next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time for episode 3. If you enjoyed this conversation, feel free to donate for the show. We put it back into utilizing it for certain resources and things like that to help the show move forward. And we got a comment here before our last video play. Appreciate the podcast. I have to come back to watch it later. Got some deadlines to take care of. JR, check your email. Let me know if you have any changes on that book. Be blessed, guys. And
appreciate you, Mr. Brooks.
What's incredible about Antonio was he was the gentleman that gave that constructive criticism I sent you through text earlier. And you know, I was like, okay, let me show him a segment where there won't be that in the setting, you know, that'll be distracted to him, so he can kind of, you know, soak up our conversation and really embrace the information. So, and as you can tell, I have even mine where, before we went live, I'm like waving people down, like, hey, we're about to start, things like that.
Right. I got my minds as well.
Yeah. And it's all good.
Appreciate that constructive criticism, things of that nature.
It makes us better.
It makes us better. Not only that, it makes us better, but I also I want people to keep in mind too, though, at the same time, when we do, if you are watching it live, you have to understand sometimes live things happen. So if you are I'll put it to you like this. If you're a person, you have to ask yourself, what is your best form of receiving information, or how do you perceive and receive something? You know what I'm saying? And it's something always going to be an excuse on what you can and can't do. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we're going to do our best to make sure that we don't have any type of background noise, anything, you know what I'm saying? All of these things. But if some of those things do happen, please forgive us and excuse us for those things, because we are doing this live.
Yeah, and it even happened to me, with my hiccups, with my camera, my setting.
Right.
My setup is, our setups are always going to update. We're always getting new equipment. We're always getting new things. We're always,
and that's the donations is what that's used for. That's what I said. If you appreciate and enjoy what we're doing, and what I'm saying, and we're trying to improve and make it better, and your constructive criticism, your offerings, your donations to that help us get to that level.
For sure, definitely. I appreciate your time
and
your conversation always. I send love and light to the family. Have a great Memorial Day week. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope that after we get off here today, you have a joyous evening with the family. I know I'm about to go watch Ant-Man with the kids and everything. So I'm going to have a joyous night myself. If there's anything else I could touch base on, Effort, the official music video is out. The one official music video is out. Ox Little Brother has a music video that's out. Just type in ONTL Entertainment. Want to see me? ONTL One. ONTL The One. Effort. JL The Truth The One. Dead Pharaohs. The premiere Tuesday. $500 giveaway announcement May 30th as well. Right after the premiere, we're going live. May 30th is going to be a very lit day. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video. And we'll see y'all next Sunday for Unified Media Dropping Gems Season 2, Episode 3. Thank you for those that tuned in, that stood with us all the way up to the end. I noticed that there was people in here that were brushing in and out. Some people in the comments. Some people stood all the way through. We appreciate those watch time hours.
Definitely.
And, stay bright, stay in your light, stay focused, and step into your fear, man. We appreciate you.
Step into your fear. One love.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need...
Go where the fear is. At the end of the day, what this world needs is people who are different. Anything is possible.
Tucked within the message of this old letter written in 1965, a short string of words, this little piece of advice casually offered within the surrounding statements. These few and powerful words that I think we need to hear today. It was American artist Sol LeWitt who wrote this letter to his good friend, Eva Hessel, who was struggling with self-doubt. Within the letter, he was pushing her to just stop thinking, worrying, looking over your shoulder, wondering, doubting, fearing, hurting, hoping for some easy way out. He said, stop it, and just do. Then he writes this little line I hope we can all hear the way we need to. If you fear, make it work for you. We need to hear it, don't we? How else do we overcome what Ralph Waldo Emerson said defeats more people than any other one thing in the world? Fear. Because it's real. And there's no getting around the fact that it will show up. It should show up. Sometimes we fear for good reason. And sometimes we fear for absolutely no good reason at all. So this is about using fear to open your life, not close it in.
Are we going to sit there and wait until somebody leaves one of these doors of opportunity for us to fly through? Or are we going to start knocking on these doors, even though we might be scared of what's on the other side? Do we go where the fear is?
We misunderstand this emotion, fear. There are easy statements: fear nothing, be fearless, rise above it. But sometimes there is no rising. In fact, that's not why fear exists, to just get over it. Instead, it gives you a single choice: move further away or move closer. We hear that voice in our head, the story in our head. You can't speak in front of all those people. They're all staring at you. You can't keep up with them. They're smarter than you. They're faster. They're stronger. You're not qualified enough to apply for that job. Someone else is going to get it anyways. You're not a leader. You never were.
Yes, we go where the fear is. And I'll tell you why. Because all of us have dreams. And those dreams are real and they can come true.
Fear is real. It's just that the story we're telling ourselves isn't. Our minds race. They fill in the blanks. We run from a made-up worst-case scenario that may not be that bad after all. So instead of all that, as the old letter says, stop it and just do. You see, if you fear, make it work for you.
We don't need the lie. We don't need the bravado or the charade. People have fear. And sometimes we accept it, and sometimes we move through it. Adele has a fear of large audiences. Richard Branson has a fear of public speaking. Jennifer Aniston has a fear of flying. It hasn't stopped them. Could you imagine if it had?
So what if this next chapter of your life, of your work, of your relationships was focused around these few words, written in 1965? If you fear, make it work for you. Because there's no getting around it. So feel it. Accept it. Question it. And then stop and just do.